Hello there friends, Mr. E here, and today I'll be acting as the honorary QA tester for Fat Shark. We are going to be getting some very large bugs, hopefully visible and exposed so they can be addressed before the inevitable summer break that's coming up. We have at least 4 bugs here today, and 3 of them are really massive. 3 of them are kind of potentially able to ruin the game. One is a buff to the class, one is a massive nerf to the class, and one is just ruining games in general. And then let's start with the easiest of these 4, okay? So one of them is just bizarre, and I'll start with it right here. So there's this thing you can do, and you might have seen me do it on various classes, but if you have yourself a dagger, or any weapon, honestly, you can use the primary equip button. So for me, my primary equip button here is 6, which is on my mouse. And if you hold your primary attack, if you hold your heavy attack, you see how long I hold that by default if I'm just holding down the attack button? If I spam that button, I can hold it for longer. And this is a strategy that very experienced players use to hold attacks for longer before delivering to the enemies. Also, it's a way that players can use movement abilities like this. The second heavy attack in the chain for the dagger has a 20% move speed buff. It allows you to hold that dagger chain for a very long time. So you can kind of glide around with it like this. However, with the Skitarii, specifically, the Artificer Servo-skull is an issue. Look at this. If I unequip the Enhanced Blitz here, I now have this sort of animation. I cannot do the running and sprinting. It keeps resetting my speed, and this is problematic for all weapons, right? If I have a maul here and I want to hold the charge attack and then run forward and do a big sweep, nope, no running with that equipped. However, just simply equipping the Artificer Servo-skull works to fix this problem. There we go, as you can see. It also works, for whatever reason, to equip any other blitz. Not that you would. Like the integrated refraction emitter. See? I can do that with the integrated refraction emitter. And all is well. Okay. And then the really funny thing is that, yeah, it works with the Servo-skull, but it doesn't work with the Medicae Servo-skull. It doesn't work with the Purgator Servo-skull. And it does work with New Spheric Command. So I have no idea what is going on here. The best guess that I could put forward is it's something about having the skulls. I mean, I don't even know where they are. Wait, there they are. Maybe something about having the skulls around me is like preventing that from happening. I guess the basic Servo-skull, or the upgraded basic Servo-skull, the Artificer Servo-skull Blitz, is in the right position where it allows you to do the sprinting animation and animation extend. But the other ones are not, and then the other blitzes erase the basic Servo-skull that you have, so it enables you to keep that chain forever. In whatever case, very odd, just a strange little bug. Probably doesn't affect that many players, but I feel like this is one of those ones that probably has effects on other stuff too, and wanted to put it out there. Okay, with that one out of the way, let's get on to some serious stuff. Let's go on to the second major bug here. And for this one, I want to draw your attention to the center of my screen there. That is my reticle that shows my cooldown, as well as the number above it. That's the number of charges I have. See, it went from 5 to 4. All right, now watch that charge number as I do some light slashing here. So, if you have not been introduced to this bug yet, congratulations, you have just learned about the infinite slash bug. So, yeah, this is incredibly powerful, obviously. Not that the claw needed to be any more powerful, but this is hopefully going to be patched out. What you do in order to trigger this bug, if you're interested, is hold down the attack button, then sprint forward, and then release the attack button. And you can do this very quickly. So for me, sprinting is on Alt, W is obviously forward. So what I'll do is I'll hold down the claw, and then I'll sprint forward, and I'll release. And there you go, that's it. No charges consumed, real simple. However, you saw I was doing it with this slash as well, and for me, that is just a matter of tapping all 3 buttons at the same time. My Alt button, my sprint button, and my W button. So literally, I'm doing this, almost literally no movement at all, but I am sprinting. but I'm slashing at the same time. And there you go. You see me consuming no charges. Bada bing, bada boom. I'm just a destructive powerhouse. So yeah, this is disgusting. And here is an optimized build that I made that utilizes this to do some pretty extreme stuff. So yeah, maybe give that a run. Next up, we have a devastating bug that is negatively affecting the auto-aim ability, the Enhanced Combat Doctrine's ability. So I'll let this game footage here run, and I'll let it speak for itself, and then I'll come back in and sort of talk about how we discovered this generally might work. Note that this is not mod dependent, as you'll see in the second bits of footage that the mods are uninstalled, and this is still occurring. This is a vanilla game function, just as the claw bug is also a vanilla game function. All right, check out my charges in the center here. I've got redline capacitors using Enhanced Combat Doctrines. Jumps from 4 charges directly to 1 there. Then it happens later on as well. Back here somewhere, I think it's like right here, as I'm gunning down this hallway. So I've got 4 charges again because of redline capacitors, and I'm gonna hopefully not take too long to demonstrate this. Activate our ability. So every time for my HUD, every time I build up to 45 seconds of cooldown, it'll reset and go into taking a charge. But you saw there, it drained to 3 and then immediately went down to 1. So it's consuming 2 charges for something in that. I think it consumes double charges. I think if you don't have redline capacitors, it consumes down to 0 at the same time.
And just have max stacks and then you can do anything.
It happens when you're not shooting.
Yeah. Just like let it tick the entire time. Don't like remove the ability and stuff.
Oh, okay. That's more consistent for you.
Yeah.
Okay. I should remove all the passive regeneration stuff then.
Be careful.
It happened immediately.
No,
This is vanilla, by the way. That's Fat Shark.
Is it always like at charge 3?
I don't think it can occur when you have... It just happened to me again immediately when I was at 3, but it can happen at 4 too. So yeah, indeed, there is a big problem with Advanced Combat Doctrines. What seems to be going on, and this is based on all the testing that I've been able to put together on this, which took about 3 hours of my day yesterday. What seems to be going on here is that the Advanced Combat Doctrine's ability, when it passes over a threshold for a charge while actively draining, instead of shooting in order to pass the threshold, you know how like it drains 10% per second, but you can also shoot to drain some, this can trigger the game to, for whatever reason, take 3 charges away from you. And this is not just a cosmetic bug. It occurs both with mods installed and not with mods, and with no mods. As you saw in the Psychanium there in that latter part, we can either have redline capacitors installed or not. All it will do is it takes 3 charges from you. So if you have a baseline of, if you have a baseline of 2 charges, it can even take all 2 charges and drop you to 0. If you have 3, because you're using redline capacitors and you were draining down from 4, it'll take 3 and drop you to 0. And if you have 4, it'll drop you to 1. In whatever case, it drops 300% of your charge instantly as you pass over a charge threshold. And it's devastating. It's devastating. I was noticing that something was happening because I felt like my ultimates were going really fast. Like I was using up my entire Advanced Combat Doctrine in a matter of seconds for some reason, and I looked back at the footage and I noticed this. I saw someone complaining on the modders forum that this was related to a mod. I tested it up and down and I figured out that it is a vanilla bug. It has nothing to do with mods. This is occurring in the base game without any mods installed. So yeah, this is a really devastating one because Advanced Combat Doctrines really relies on having all of its charges, right? You don't want to lose all your charges for free. And this is all piling on top of existing issues that many players are encountering with Advanced Combat Doctrines, namely the fact that the auto-aim isn't working properly. This is not something I was been able to record in conclusive proof. However, suffice to say, myself and many playtesters that I've talked to, as well as tons of players, have reported a similar encounter, which is that the shots are just not hitting their mark. For whatever reason, you're supposed to be aimed within 5 degrees of the target, you'll be firing, and in one way or another, the shots are just not landing on heads, even though that should be the only available target for them to hit. I have seen that there's issues with being suppressed or with enemies moving when this is going on. Occasionally it's better than others. It might be due to a desync issue with the server, but in any case, it needs to be fixed because that's the whole function of the ability, is to aim for you. And with a lot of precision weapons, if you're missing shots on heads, you simply are not generating any value at all. So yeah, this needs to be addressed immediately as well. I don't know what's causing it, but hopefully Fatshark can get to the bottom of it and really help this ability to get back to what it should be, a glorious spray down ability. Okay, and with those out of the way, let's go to the one that everyone who's played for any amount of time has noticed these last couple days, the Burster. The Burster, as per Fatshark, has been fixed. I believe in their words, in the most recent patch notes, or not the most recent patch notes, but the patch notes from the update, they said something to the letter of the Pox Bursters now are guaranteed to detonate on push when they come into proximity of an enemy. The problem with this now seems to be that the Pox Bursters are not being able to be pushed, and they are also, for whatever reason, just completely resilient to being detonated or to even engaging on enemies. So you'll get situations like this where I am able to just kind of like walk up to a burster, and this doesn't look all that bad unless you've played the game a lot and you know this is not how bursters are supposed to function, right? This burster is coming straight towards me, he's right in my face, and he does eventually detonate, but dang, like I was a millisecond away from not getting that push off where the Rager staggered me, and that could have gone really badly. Yeah, he was supposed to detonate and jump from much further away. What I haven't been seeing almost any of in this patch is bursters doing their intended initiation of the fuse and jumping in. They're simply just walking into their enemies. So you'll get situations like that. You'll also get situations like this, where this burster is just trying to basically walk past me. I don't know what's going on here, and it's clearly like intended for someone, but the fuse is freaking out, and then it just blows up spontaneously. And if this wasn't like clear enough that there's an issue here, maybe this will make it more clear. All right, featured here, bursters being very fixed and normal.
Oh, there he goes.
Yeah, so I mean, with a person who the burster is targeted to who is downed, that burster should be initiating and jumping and exploding on them, right? Instead, the burster is programmed to stand inside of the enemy. And so while we seem to have fixed bursters to then get pushed down and detonate, they have not been fixed in the sense that they are refusing to be pushed and they are doubly refusing to be detonating. The previous iteration of bursters, sometimes they would do this bug where they like just would walk inside of you and not detonate, but then they would always jump afterwards. Now they are just never ever initiating that jump, and they'll stand there all day, and it is really annoying. I think more annoying for most players is the sense that like something is very off when they're trying to push, and the push is just not connecting no matter whether they're intended for you or not. And yeah, so something is terribly like fucked with these enemies. Honestly, like at this point, maybe remove them from the game for a little while and add in some other specials or something in order to get these fixed, because this is, I mean, it makes the game feel incredibly broken and incredibly janky. It's just really unfun to play when you just have no control. I'm just taken to shooting every single burster that I see instead of interacting with them at all, because they're that unpredictable. Anyway, guys, there are 3 really massive bugs and 1 small minor one. Hopefully Fatshark can get onto some of these and get them patched up, especially the ability ones before the break, because one of those is clearly not okay and the other one is really sad for a cool ability. So that's all I got to share with you today. Thank you guys for watching. Mystery out of here. Bye.
I don't think bursters are working right. I pushed it like 3 times.
No, they fixed them. They said in the patch notes.